Oh wow, looks like we're underway.
Just a bit 20 in the first chest.
Wow, all three pendants in the light world? You don't see that too often.
And you actually don't see a map check really before you even get out of escape, so that's something interesting to see. But 3 pendants in the light world, that's awesome. It looks like we do have Kane or some Mario strats going to be in here, and I find this interesting because you could do it a couple different ways: either place the block and push, or throw.
Ooh, and get a boomerang as well. So the red meringue will come in handy. We see the stun prize here.
And it's 8 bombs.
So if Asa follows suit and also opts to stun something, he'll also be able to pick up the 8-bomb drop as well. So probably won't have any problems with bombs for the escape sequence here.
And he's using the boomerang, just not killing them. But I'm sure he'll do that to the blue guard down at the bottom. So.
But unfortunately, the stun prize from that guy is always going to be the key that he's holding.
I did realize after I said that. But yes, always getting the key from that guard. We'll see. We'll see maybe if he does it to the green guard.
So 50 rupees here. It's always nice to pick up a little bit of extra cash. Might need that for the bottle vendor in Kakariko, or possibly to pay off Zora at some point.
Absolutely. It's always nice if you can leave escape with about 100 rubies. That gives you the option to do a little, a little buying. Say if you're short on bombs, if you want to buy bombs as well.
So we saw Potts versus Kane strats there, and it looks like Asa had the right idea there. The Potts were just a little bit quicker.
He also does have a little bit less magic than Dark Shadows does, so I'm sure he wanted to conserve some, especially for the rat.
Definitely.
Both these runners are making pretty decent time of escape here. We probably will see in the 6s as they get outside, and that's generally 6-minute escape time is where you like to be.
So with 3 pendants in the light world, it would be pretty crazy if the item on the pedestal turned out to be like the Master Sword or like the Moon Pearl. It's just a weird kind of scenario to have come up where you don't see too often in the randomizer.
Yeah, if we can have like vanilla Master Sword, that's gonna be, and have it AGA required, it's gonna be a fun scene.
Yeah, right.
Nice heart container drop there for Dark Shadows. He was down to 1, and they get the sword. So now they have a sword after escape, which is going to add a little bit ease for them to get rid of enemies.
All right, so we'll get first look here at the 3 items here in escape.
A heart container, some rupees, and a bomb upgrade.
The heart container is a nice pickup early on, you know. I mean, 3 hearts is never fun to be playing on, so that's cool. But nothing too exciting progression-wise or any kind of nice weapon to have.
Most definitely, and we'll see here in if they counted there, they would know that the map would have been the last chest because they opened all of them and did not receive them. But still, it's quick just checking, just anyway.
So Asa looks like they're heading over to Kakariko, which is, you know, pretty par for the course when it comes to starting off here. Dark Shadows right behind.
We shall see if they actually check Lumberjack. Sometimes runners don't check it unless they have the boots. But it's, I think, an easy check to find and just a double.
Yeah, for the intel alone, knowing if you need to actually worry about an AGA 1 situation, it's usually worth it.
It looked like just a heart container, so we probably won't need AGA for specifically that item. Asa going for the bit 20 in the mushroom location, and we'll see what the Thief's Hut has here.
Just an arrow upgrade. So we're hoping to find some kind of progression in Kakariko that might lead our runners in a certain direction at this point. So far with everything they've got, there's, you know, not really a whole lot of items that are speaking to our runners at this point.
Absolutely, but as they make the way to Kakariko, we're gonna have a lot of chests in small locations here. So we'll see if they get any sort of progression. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's just a bit of love and some rupees. Well, some safeties up first with blue mail and half magic and another heart container. That's always nice to have, but usually never needed.
And a single arrow in the back. All right, dropping down to Kakariko Well here. 5 more chests. Rupees and some love. Ooh, the hammer. A bottle. Okay. All right. Hammer's good. I'll take that.
Getting hammer is definitely nice right away, and that bottle is perfect to root the sick kid in. You know, sometimes, you know, getting a bottle late, you forget to go back to the sick kid, and it can hurt some runners. But getting it in Kakariko is always nice.
Just a single rupee in the chicken hut. What is the sick kid holding on to? Oh, he's got the moon pearl. All right.
It must be his family heirloom.
So I guess at this point, our runners probably want to see the glove show up, so they would have Dark World access.
Exactly. That's the one thing we're missing now. It would be interesting if it's in the library and they need the boots. But I'm mistaken. It's just a bit 20.
Ooh, we got the bow at the maze game.
Excellent. So I'm gonna guess they're gonna write down, south of Link's house into Eastern, because now they can finish Eastern minus the lamp. But I'm sure these runners can do the sequence break without the lamp.
Yeah, this item definitely will push them in that direction, even though Eastern Palace is a pendant. Given our options at this point, definitely might go for it.
Dark Shadows did save a little bit of time there because he did not check what the race game has, so he's made up a little bit of time on Asa right now.
All right, so now both of our runners checking out the South Shore area. We've got the dam here with a chest inside, and once we drain it, a waterlogged item will be found. Ooh, there's our Dark World access.
Alright, they probably won't make their way up to Eastern. I would imagine they would go do Dark World Hype Cave. Perfect routing scenario being right on the South Shore already.
Definitely.
But there's our early Dark World access, just 12 minutes into the seed. It's very nice. Again, like I said, the divergence, unless they find anything else to put them in a different direction.
So if we don't find anything here in the mini Moldorm cave, I imagine that the choice will be between Hype Cave over maybe to Pod, or if we see one of our runners go for the Village of Outcasts side of things.
Absolutely. We'll see how they lead. Again, we will be looking for that lamp to really put it Pod in logic, and they did get the mushroom in Mini Moldorm Cave here.
So it looks like Asa's going to give us the Hype Cave check at least, and then we'll see where he goes from there.
I'm sure we'll also get a map check and see which are 5 and 6 crystals.
Meanwhile, Dark Shadow's heading over to Ice Rod Cave here. Okay, 5 and 6 are Swamp Palace and Ice Palace.
Cane of Burna and the Master Sword. Alright, so we got some rubies and an upgraded sword in here, which is very nice to have this early.
Dark Shadow's just found a bomb upgrade in the Ice Rod Cave, so bit of a time loss, unfortunately. It's a long way out to that Ice Rod Cave, but maybe he might do a little fake flipper action here.
Which means, you know, having the Moon Pearl, he can go check the Wishing Well. So that's a couple items out of logic that could work out in his favor. And it's just a piece of heart on Hylia Island.
Asa giving us the pyramid ledge check here. We'll see what's up here. Just a piece of art.
And Hobo is giving a little love as well.
Ooh, looks like Ass is going to go all the way up to Catfish here. That's another check that's kind of out of the way, but if he's got something, then it's definitely worth it.
Absolutely. I had a seed where Catfish had the Fire Rod, and
Oh.
it was definitely a rough seed, and we might get Dark Shadow going to check Dark World Thieves Town over here, Village of Outcasts.
So as you were talking about earlier, we're seeing the divergence already, given what our runners want to do with this Dark World access.
Absolutely, and I'm sure we'll keep seeing it go on depending on what items they find in each location. Definitely interesting to see what happens here. The mirror at Catfish, definitely an awesome play.
Yeah, that's pretty clutch. Dark Shadows will have to get over there eventually, but how long he waits to check that location will be kind of key in this race, I think.
Absolutely, because lots of times you would like to route both Catfish into Zora if you had the option, but without having that mirror, I doubt they'll head that way for that combo.
So Dark Shadows is giving us our first look at Skull Woods here.
I like that play. I generally think these few chests and skull words is like an overworld type item because it's so easy accessible. The only thing you can't finish it without the fire rod, and but I think it's a nice play to do it first.
Definitely, I agree. So while Dark Shadows is choosing to check out Skull Woods, looks like Asa is going to be doing Village of Outcasts and maybe into Thieves Town.
And having that hammer definitely helps out clearing out Thieves Town because you don't have to worry about that item behind the door if it's available.
And that is one of those item locations that just sticks in the back of your mind if you have to leave it. So having that hammer is a nice feeling going into Thieves Town.
A well-placed piece of heart for Dark Shadows, getting his full life back, and I'm sure he'll go check the back room. And having the Cadence Samaria for that room makes that room less treacherous with those Gibdos around.
Yeah, no kidding. With green mail, those guys can body you pretty quickly. Oh, wait, our runners have blue mail already, but still, they can hurt still.
Most definitely. Taking the Death Warp to go back, and I think that we only found one item, so there is one item in the back end by Marthila.
Ooh, Tempered Sword in Thieves Town there.
At 20 minutes in, 3 swords already. Excellent. It's going to make a nice quick seed and quick work out of all the bosses, which is nice to see. And And we're gonna see what's on Bumper Cave Ledge up here. The fire rod is on Bumper Cave, so we need the cape. We gotta figure out where the cape is so they can get the fire rod.
Meanwhile, Asa finding the Titan's mitts in Thieves Town as well. So the Thieves Town loaded so far, and he's going to be checking out the back half. Maybe there is more in store for him.
So right away, we're getting a lot of progressions items here from these runners. So it begs to differ to see what can actually be on the pedestal and if we actually have a pedestal seat here.
So Asa making his way through Thieves Town here. DarkShadow's just behind. He's checked a couple of additional overworld locations, which is why he might seem like he's a little bit behind at the moment. But Asa's got the mirror, which I think is a pretty key item to have found, having checked that catfish out early. That really paid off.
Absolutely. Having the mirror, especially in places like Pod, really makes for quicker access in the dungeon. So if Dark Shadows doesn't make his way up there, we're going to see a lot longer dungeons out of him opposed to Asa.
And even thinking about Asa's situation, once he gets out of Thieves Town here, if he wants to do Blacksmith and Purple Chest, he's got the mirror, so he can quickly swap those guys out, whereas Dark Shadows would have to save and quit if he decided to do that.
Absolutely. He'll be able to check that South of Grove cave as well.
Okay, so looks like Blind probably has something?
I think Blind has the last item, yes, if I counted correctly.
So a 6-heart blind fight is not really a whole lot of fun, but if Asa can keep him on the script there, then it should be no problem. Looks like he's doing good so far.
Little trouble in third phase, but was able to get it done. Dark Shadow's got to watch out with those crickets. They do a lot of damage, even with blue mail on, and you wouldn't expect it if you're just casually playing this game.
So looks like Asa's going to be doing a digging game, I imagine, and then he might loop back and take care of Blacksmith, Purple Chest, and whatnot.
I would expect the same thing. It looks like summoning Check. He will do blacksmith, but to do the digging game, you can't have anybody following you, otherwise they wouldn't allow it. So do the digging game first, and then root our way back to the blacksmith.
Whole lot of digs for just 10 arrows.
And Asa picks up Jeremiah the bullfrog, and then go check Peg Cave, and then probably bring him back. And then take the purple chest down towards the other areas.
And Dark Shadows enters the blind fight. Going with some Kane strats here. All right.
Well played by Dark Shadows in there.
Probably a little annoyed that he had to use his blue potion there, but you know, it's better than taking the death, I think.
Absolutely, because you don't get the same positioning for the next fight, so rather use the blue potion than have to worry about, you know, doing different strats along the way.
Oh, looks like Asa lost the purple chest there.
Oh, that's rough. You have to go back and do it. You might wait until he gets the flute, so he could just flute to 7 and bring it over later on.
Yeah, might do. He's thinking about what to do next. He's saving and quitting. Yeah. Looks like we might be seeing like Sahasrala's hut and the like eastern possibly being a play at this point.
Absolutely. It's also to note that Dark Shadows still has Master Sword. I forgot where that 3rd sword upgrade is, but if he doesn't find that, some of the fights are going to be a little bit harder for him opposed to Asa.
It was, I believe, in the Height Cave, so he more likely than not is going to pick it up at some point, but hopefully sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. It looks like we're going to get the Pod Eastern play out of Asa with the Mirror, which is definitely going to help out in his favor. We got to wish that Dark Shadows makes his way up to Zora at some point. Oh, Catfish, I believe. Sorry. Someplace soon.
Yeah, definitely. That's going to make it a little bit harder for him to forge any kind of comeback if he keeps putting it off, because that mirror is a key item. Right now, Dark Shadows is giving Jeremiah the world tour, taking him down to the Hype Cave, I imagine, as well.
And if he's also ambitious, he could root Catfish at this point, check because he hasn't checked the pyramid either. And he's going to have to save and quit at that point anyway.
That would be pretty clutch if he pulled that off. That would be good thinking on his part. So we found the Book of Medora in the back of Sahasrala's hut.
So that being said, minus the lamp, every Light World dungeon is now in logic, because they would need the lamp right now to get up to the Death Mountain.
Right. So yeah, really close to being able to clear those off, which keeps the ped dream alive for everyone here in chat who loves a good old ped seed.
And it looks like Dark is making his way up, so he will get his mirror shortly, soon.
I'm really glad to see that he's going all the way to Catfish here. It's a tough call to make at any point in your run, so the fact that he's kind of thinking, maybe I should check it out, is just so great. It'll make this a really tight race.
He doesn't have the amount of rubies, but I'm not sure if you could you talk to Zora with somebody following you? I've never seen that, but if he had enough rubies, that might have been a play he could have done.
True, true. I actually don't know if you can have a follower. I think the blacksmith might be okay.
So far, nothing in pod, but early on you do want to find those keys so you're not key locked. So we'll see what back end of the dungeon has to offer, and if Asa does do the dark rooms.
Ooh, I think Dark Shadows is trying to set up to a fake powder once he goes to take the blacksmith back, which is why he's using Burna. Unfortunate that he picked up that full magic refill.
He's gonna check to see what he has, but I don't know if he knows that he does not have enough rupees to buy whatever Zora has. Alright, just checking and then saving and quitting here. But it's a good heads up play on his part to do the fake powder.
So far we haven't really seen anything of value in pod, but as it has been referred to, the Mullet Mansion, as it were, it's a business in the front, party in the back kind of dungeon, so we might see some things in the back part here. Like a butter sword, maybe.
Wow, Butter Sword 33 minutes into the seed. What is going on here? And it looked like 300 rubies there in that other chest, and so we're gonna. Asa now has enough for Zora if he make his way up that way, but still minus the Butter Sword, no progression yet.
Ooh, Bombos, that's nice. We might need that to get into Misery Mire or Turtle Rocks, so always nice to have medallions.
Alright, Asa doing the Dark Maze, and if he wants to, he could use Bombos in here just to navigate around those fire. I don't even know what they're called, but kill them in a faster manner.
So Dark Shadow's going to be tricking the magic bat here.
And for those of you who don't know, what you do is you use the cane right before, quickly go to your menu and then hit the mushroom to trick the game into thinking they have magic powder. And he gets the cape for his trouble there. He can go get what was on ledge?
The fire rod.
That's right, the fire rod, and then he can go finish Skull Woods if he chooses to do so, because he's right there.
This is a pretty interesting sequence break here.
This could be a change here. We might see two crystals at the same time in different locations. So Dark Shadows did make up a little bit of time he lost for not having the mirror as soon as Asa did. Now we're gonna see Asa do Dark Turtle Room, and without the fire rod to light his way is gonna be a little bit of a hit in the random location to try to find them. So we'll see if he can last that Turtle Room. It can be nasty.
If he had the fire rod like his opponent now does, that would make that room a little bit easier because there are torches that you can light in there to help you navigate. So while Asa's feeling around in the dark, they're doing a pretty good job so far. Dark Shadows is going to be checking out the graveyard ledge here.
That was a pretty decent turtle room there, without any sort of lighting around.
Interesting that he made it through the turtle room with relative ease and then kind of struggled on the next room, which is usually a little bit of an easier one. Makes it through no problem, though, and is taking on Helmasaur King here.
Once he gets that mass off, I think it's just a couple hits with the Butter Sword, and there you go, Helmasaur is down. While Dark Shadows is making the mushroom play, now that he did the fake powder, he can return it and see what's there. Just a little bit of love.
Looks like he might have been debating whether or not to buy a potion or two, choosing that too.
We're looking like we're going to get the Eastern play here at Asa. We'll see what's in this dungeon now as a pendant. So
So I'm thinking that Dark Shadows, with that fire rod in hand, is probably going to do the Mothula fight next. There's one item back there as well, so kind of a no-brainer location to go for it now that you've got the fire rod in hand.
absolutely. If he did have the book, we could have had a ped check. So depending on how soon Asa gets it or Dark gets a book, we could finally see what is on the pedestal. And when the Mothula fight with Blue Mail and Fire Rod, along with the Tempest Sword, should be a very quick, easy fight. Otherwise, if you don't have all those safeties, it could be a little bit crazy.
Yeah, Mothula is definitely someone you don't want to mess with, but I think Dark Shadow's equipment right now will serve him well.
Right. Asa doing the sequence break here in Eastern to see what that back item's gonna bring. We'll see what this sequence break adds to the mix here. Quick work of Mothula there for Dark Shadow. Nice fight by him, and gets the flutes. Making
Wow.
all the right moves here. So this is going to be the deciding factor, I think, in this rig. As soon as Asa makes his way to the bats, if he ever finds the powder or makes his way and does fake powder, it's going to be key, because now we got the flute and fire rod.
And Dark Shadows being relatively close to Kakariko is going to immediately activate that flute.
And I would think Dark Shadows would head down to the Mire area, check that Mire shed and get the intel on Mire, even though he doesn't have a medallion, but he could make his way into Desert if he so chooses to as well.
Yeah, the flute Titan Mitt combo is pretty. It opens up a lot of locations, so a lot of options for Dark Shadows at this time. Thank you all for standing for the Hylian national anthem there. Very nice quick kill from Asa there for the red pendant.
Absolutely, and it looks like Dark Shadow is making his way up the mountain, which is good because with everything in hand, he could full clear minus the hook shot room.
It's going to be interesting to see what Asa decides to do next. He's going to start to run out of options, I think. So it'll be interesting. I can't. He might actually be doing fake powder now. It's possible.
He hasn't made the Skullwoods play yet, I don't believe, so he's going to do that first.
Yeah, that makes sense then.
And there's the powder, so now that begs to differ that the powder is locked logically behind the lamp. So finding that lamp would put everything in logic that we just had.
Okay, based on the locations that we have, I'm thinking it's Agina's cave or it's in desert.
I think you're right. Or we haven't had the Zora check. Zora could have it.
Oh yeah, that'd be pretty rough. The only thing Dark Shadows, I guess, will have to be careful of is all of this sequence breaking and keeping track of the logic and what he's broken and what he hasn't.
Yeah, you could lose yourself in the sequence break sometimes, so keeping that in mind is definitely keeping a level mind and, you know, keeping your head in the game.
Yeah, because if he forgets about the lamp, say, he's going to have to do either everything in the dark or really kind of rack his brain to figure out where it could be. Right, so I might check the first two locations here in Tower of Hera.
Grabbing that 50 rupees because he still needs that Zora money. Interesting how he didn't check the other chest there. I think it would be just as quick to see what that chest is if it goes down, because he does have the fire source if he wants to get the big key, or that might not fan out in his favor later on, if indeed an item is in that location.
Dark Shadows made a way over to the eastern part of Death Mountain. We've got the Spiral Cave right here, and then the Paradox Cave, which is going to house 7 items. So quite a lot of value up here, potentially.
Have 7 items, and then you'll have 2 items in the Super Bunny Cave that he could check as well. Asa might be making the Zora play here to check and see what Zora might have.
Might also turn in that mushroom, which will not allow him to do fake powder.
Which indeed he is doing. Just a Fisher-Price shield in Paradox Cave here, but Dark finally getting his rupee count for Zora. It looks like we might get a Bombos check from Asa and make his way down to Desert. It's a nice routing for what the items that he has, so we'll see what this combo gives for him here.
I really like the play to get over to Desert here, because as you know, we've been discussing, we think that the lamp is probably somewhere over here, and he's going to need that to kind of get back on track and catch up a bit.
And Asa, you know, despawning that purple chest might be in the back of his mind here, thinking to go back at some point.
Meanwhile, over on Dark Shadow's side, he picked up the red mail, but he also did a little check of Turtle Rock there. It's the Bombos medallion to get in, which Asa found in Palace of Darkness.
It's definitely good information to know. Um, just bombs here on the desert ledge, so he's gonna make his way in, and we'll see if Lamp is definitely in desert. I think minus Zora, that is the only logical spot left. Chat reminding me that desert is technically the green pendant, so Sahasrahla could have the lamp as well. No, he can't. He can't finish it, so it's got to be here.
All right, we get the key, so we're going right side. Let's see.
There's one of the two items. And that means it's boots lock because Big Key has to be on the lamp.
Yikes. So, what are we thinking now then? I mean, as chat is pointing out, purple chest hasn't been turned in yet, so could be there.
That definitely could be. It looks like Ass is heading in a direction to fake Flipper, so he could be able to take a Wishing Well and then Zora. That's besides Purple Chest, Zora probably is the only other option. Or at least leading to a progression, like it could be in Bonk routes if they get the boots.
Yeah, good point. So what we're seeing out of Dark Shadows here, I wonder why he decided to go up Tower of Hera here. Haven't seen any items of value, unfortunately, and it's just for the blue pendant. Starting to wonder, like, what he's looking for a few items, so he's just running out of locations for where they might be. I think he needs to get over to the Meyer area.
Looks like he's following Asa right here, fake Flipper, to go up and check Wishing Well and see what's up in that location because he also finally has enough rupees to go check Zora as well. And it's the boots. Ass is gonna get his coming around soon, but that means that logically, purple chest. It is definitely the spot that might have the lamp. Unless it's vanilla flippers, which it is.
Wow.
So that puts Boots in logic now. We'll check Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb here. So those open those two locations. And then that reopens Big Chest in Desert Palace. Actually, it opens up Swamp Palace, which Chad just reminded me.
Opens up Ice Palace as well, because Bombos was available from Pod there.
That is true. That is true, which then in turn opens up Fat Fairy because Swamp and Ice is our 5/6 crystal. This could be a trolley seed.
Yeah, we thought maybe this lamp was going to be somewhere early on, but it's kind of looking it could be anywhere at this point.
And it looks like Asa is making the Ice Palace play. Early play for him, and I've found it that Ice Palace and the seeds that I've been playing, especially the one where I needed the lamp to do Darkroom Mire, have been in Ice Palace, so we shall see.
Yeah, everyone tries to leave Ice Palace until the end when they can like go mode it, which does save a lot of time. But Ice Palace has been paying off a lot lately, and it's definitely worthwhile if you got the items to take a dive and see what's inside.
It's a nice early key too, because routing this dungeon makes it a little bit easy. If you find a key early on, you can head right and get those chests and not worry about doing a lot of the sequence breaking in this dungeon. So that's a nice find. That bomb was just a little bit low for that quick kill in this room, so he had to lay another one.
And to answer at C's question there, Bombos was not in a dark room in Pod, so it was fully in logic for our runners.
Nice, easy bomb jump setup for Asa there. Very quick.
So even though Dark Shadows made that excellent fake powder sequence break to get the cape, which led to Fire Rod, Asa's making his own way back into this. You know, like the moves that he's making to try and find the lamp, which will get him to the powder. He's made a lot of the right plays to kind of claw back into this one, which is pretty exciting.
Absolutely. This might converge its way down to Ganon's Tower, which would be an excellent way to see where this seed leads both these runners.
So we've just hit the 1 hour mark in this seed so far, and if you've liked what you've seen so far, please give our runners a follow. They, I know that Dark Shadows also runs Kirby at sometimes, so And asazas is a really good randomizer runner himself, so I think they're both worthy of a follow. And I also wanted to shout out to our tracker Melee Wizard, who behind the scenes has been keeping everything on track for us.
Yes, definitely do follow both these runners. They are putting up an excellent show for you here.
Ooh, there it is. There's our lamp.
Excellent play by Asa. And it's going to put him back in logic here. And we're seeing... It looks like Dark is trying to set up a hammer yump here.
He gets it. Very nice.
As Asa makes his way down to Cold Stare. With Blue Mail, Cold Stare can be truly hurt you a little bit more, but with Butter Sword, we'll see how well he puts him Cold Stare into a corner here.
Couldn't quite get him right into the corner there, but still, Butter Sword shouldn't be too much trouble for Asa here.
And down gold Cold Stare. And the hook shots. Another item in Ice Palace. So that is definitely... he can complete Swamp Palace now.
And it gives him like full access to everything up on Death Mountain. So if he's thinking, now that he's got that lamp, maybe he wants to make a run up there, he's going to be able to clear it out in one go, which will be excellent. So it'll be interesting to see how long it takes Dark Shadows to make the Ice Palace play with both Lamp and Hookshot in there. Those are two key items that he is missing at the moment.
Absolutely. So now that begs to differ to see what's left on pedestal. I mean, you always can have Ice Rod there, but besides that, I think it's just the medallion that opens Mire, which will be left.
Yeah, that despite the 3 pendants being in the light world, that ped dream is quickly dying. All right, so Asa's going to be heading up Death Mountain here. We'll spy the powder in Spectacle Rock. So that'll get him back on track to get the Fire Rod. He's likely going to head over to East Death Mountain and clear all that out before that, though.
Absolutely. We'll get to see what's in Hookshot Cave now.
Yeah, something that Dark Shadows wasn't able to check on his trip up to Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah, because unfortunately he didn't even have the boots to check that first chest So having the boots and obviously the hook shot, he'll be able to full clear, and we'll see. That's going to be the biggest location minus dungeons that will kill our ped dream here.
So did Asa skip on powder at the moment? Maybe he's thinking to come back to it after he clears out East Death Mountain, I hope.
Possibly, he might be thinking since he's going to rope in Spike Cave that maybe he'll mirror and get that and then head to Spike Cave afterwards.
Yeah, that's good thinking.
Asa's going to open up T-Rock here. So maybe he'll check that first chest. It's not that far into the dungeon, but probably just to open it for later.
So Asa collects his red mail from Super Bunny Cave there. Dark Shadows is clearing out Eastern Palace here. Unfortunately, not going to find too much of use. Alright, so here we go with a new location. We have not seen Hookshot Cave, so very excited to see what might lie in these 4 chests. Finds the bug net and the shovel.
Alright, the last of the fetch quest items there. That could be trolley as well.
So Ass is going to get to save a little bit of time here by running through the spiral cave. No walk of shame for him today.
Yeah, walking spiral caves seems like real walk of shame. It just takes so long. Those boots are so nice in that room.
Alright, so Ass is going to be doing Paradox Cave here. It's going to be really important to see what he decides to do next. He needs to get over and pick up that powder. It's a really tough call to make. You might think that you're already behind, and spending the 30-45 seconds it takes to get the powder from the Spectacle Rock Cave might seem like too much of a time sink. But we all know that that is the place that he absolutely needs to go.
Yeah, wish it upon him, and he saves and quits. Hopefully he's going back up to the mountain there.
Ooh, he's going for Swamp Palace. Or maybe the dig spot first. Saving and quitting again. Is he maybe thinking that he's got to go up to the mountain? Nope, not this time.
No, now he does look like he's making that swamp play. Although, full clearable and logically in his head, he could be thinking it does have 6 items, so it's definitely a heavy location. We just know that it's not gonna be there for him.
Something else might be, but yeah, not the chain of progression that we're looking for here. It is also one of the 5/6 crystals, so knocking that off also will open the Pyramid Fairy for him. Ooh, Dark Shadows is going to give us our first look at the Mire area, so we'll know what the medallion is.
And it's Bombos, so don't need that. So the only item we are searching for is the Ice Rod.
Choosing to leave the Quake medallion, we know we don't need that.
Which now I think Ice Rod is the only item now that could be on pedestal.
Yeah, it is. So
But
with it,
with
go
sorry,
ahead.
I said, but with that, Dark Shadows is only Desert Palace away. He does have the 2 other pendants.
And he hasn't. We actually have not seen a pedestal check because he was near the pedestal in the Lost Woods there, but he did not have the book at the time.
Very true.
Or maybe he didn't have the mirror. It was one of those two things. He couldn't quite complete the check.
I believe it was the book. He didn't have the book or the
Right.
mirror, actually.
Yeah, he had neither one. Yeah.
Asa choosing at this moment to skip left side. We did already find the compass, so one item most likely will be on that left side.
So a whole lot of arrow upgrades in the Mire shed there. So what does Dark Shadows do? Is he going to take a dive into Mire here? It's not a bad idea.
Chat does remind me, we still haven't had purple chest yet. So
Ooh,
purple
yeah.
chest is another spot.
Now we've just got to hope that Dark Shadows, if he's going to go through with this dungeon, that he knows that dark room in Mire, because he is not going to find the lamp in here.
Asa getting plenty of rubies for his troubles, but not the items he needs. And they find the burrito, so 2 items are definitely on the left side of Swamp.
I imagine with that knowledge in hand, he's probably going to dip back into the dungeon after the boss fight.
I would think so, absolutely.
Yeah, you can't leave that left side. That always ends in disaster.
making quick work out of Argus here.
So Az is done with the Argus fight there, but probably going to head back in. Haven't found anything yet in Swamp Palace, unfortunately. But at this point, we know that all that's left on the table is the Ice Rod.
So I don't know if Dark Shadows is... he did skip go and check Vanilla Big Key. We'll see if he goes back and checks that location.
I guess kind of banking on it not having one of the 3 items in, or 2 items in this dungeon.
That's right, Dark Shadows does not have the hook shot. I forgot about that because that's a nice palace. So that room is a little bit annoying when you do not have the hook shot.
So seeing that key there, it's going to lead Dark Shadows back over to that left side torch lighting room, I imagine.
Which means Vitreous, I believe, has an item. So we'll see if he's comfortable with those dark rooms.
All that work just for a piece of heart. Meanwhile, Asa picks up the silver arrows on the left side, so definitely worth going back in for.
Absolutely. And if you take a look, I was looking at their trackers, even though Dark Shadows have all these progressions, Asa still has 4 crystals under his belt. So he's just missing those few items to put him through. This would make crystal number 4 for Dark Shadow.
Yeah, so what it's really going to come down to is how long it takes Asa to grab that powder. Having just a little bit of trouble trying to get that block to hit the right spot there. Looks like he got it.
He finally gets it.
Shield upgrade and 50 rupees for Asa in the Pyramid Fairy. Ooh, so he's chosen Mountain Cave. Hopefully he decides to head up and maybe take care of grabbing the powder and doing Spike Cave.
And it looks like he is heading in that case, in that location. So we now know Astos hopefully will go on his way.
Ooh, is he gonna clear Tower of Hera as well? Looks like he might be going for that. So the longer Asa keeps putting off the powder from the Spectacle Rock Cave, the better chance Dark Shadows has of getting ahead. He's kind of had a bit more of a slow and steady pace, but he's been kind of following, after his sequence breaking, he's been trying to follow the logic backwards to figure out where his lamp and the hookshot are, and he'll eventually be led back to Ice Palace, I imagine, pretty soon.
Absolutely right, because after this, logically, he'll probably need to go to Ice Palace. So I think that's the only spot besides beating Desert Palace that's available to him.
Yeah, I think I like this play. Just you're already here in the desert area. Might as well just finish this one off. It's pretty quick. It's your green pendant as well, so extra item location.
Absolutely.
So when Asa showed up in Desert Palace, he was able to get this far. So we've seen that item, the 20 rupees, and then a compass up here. But we didn't have the boots when we came in here first. So Dark Shadows is going to be our first to give us a look at the what's in the big chest, and if it's an item on Landmolus, what he's holding.
So Asa just saw that he got both the items out of Hera and decided to mirror out. So hopefully Ped doesn't have Ice Rod for him, and now he's making his way to get the powder.
All right, he's back on track.
So Landmolus does have the last item in Desert, so I'm sure he's going to finish it here. We could have a blind pull.
That would be pretty exciting. Again, the only thing that can be there is the ice rod at this time, but still, hype nonetheless, I guess.
Well, Dark does not know that Hookshot is in Ice Rod, so that's another item he is missing and hoping to find.
So Asa's gonna do Spike Cave here, and hopefully will think to go and use the powder on Magic Bat right away. He's kind of running out of options other than maybe Desert Palace at this point, so it might be high on his list.
Which he does go to Sanctuary, so he's heading in the right direction.
Nice use of the fire rod there. Piece of Heart, unfortunately, is all Dark Shadows is going to get, but that green pendant means that we've now got the pedestal unlocked as well as Sahasrara. So a couple items that Shadows can check after this.
Asa about to get his cape, which will lead him to Fire Rod. And Gary's lunchbox here. He's grabbing that as well. And get hyped, everybody. We're gonna have a ped pull here from Dark Shadows. And it's a shield.
Oh. I guess there could be worse things on the pedestal, but that is not the item that Dark Shadows was looking for.
We'll see what Gary's safekeeping here for his lunch. And he packs some money to go buy lunch. That means I think Ice Rod is somewhere in T-Rock.
Yeah, based on what we have seen between our two runners, there's not a lot of locations left. Turtle Rock is looking very likely. The thing is, that always feels like a gamble, even though Turtle Rock has plenty of item locations. It always feels like, if it's not there, then you've wasted so much time. So it's a real risk reward, even when its signs are kind of pointing to a possible T-Rock.
Absolutely, and I'm not sure if I remember, but did Dark Shadows check Checobar Cave?
Yes, the Quake Medallion was there.
Alright, that's right. I'm sure we're gonna see Azza go kill Mothula here, finish off Skull Woods, and soon after that, he will probably make his way down to Mire.
Yeah, it's probably going to be full clearing Mire, just like Dark Shadows did, because they'll still be looking for the Ice Rod.
So we very well might see these players converge on T-Rock. It's gonna be close.
Yeah, after turning in the lunchbox here, I don't think Dark Shadows is going to have much else to do and is probably going to dip into either Swamp or Ice Palace.
And he's gonna full clear both, looking for that Ice Rod. So this is becoming a seed, people.
I think it would be best if Dark Shadows were to dive into Ice Palace first. I'm kind of hoping that he does, because he's going to get locked out of Swamp Palace otherwise.
But with coming back there, we hope that he doesn't go into Swamp. Oh, he's making the Swamp play. He has to be thinking that, he already had one item in its vanilla location that maybe hook shots in here.
Wow, Asa with that butter sword made quick work of Mothula, grabs his flute. Yeah, so Chad, what we're seeing is basically that aversion to going into Ice Palace. People really like to try and go mode it, but I feel like in V29, you just can't afford to skip on Ice Palace. If you can complete it, you should just do it. So unfortunately, Dark Shadows is going to find that out pretty quickly here.
Yeah, technically, Ice Palace is only needs 3 items to complete. So logically, you can find those 3 items relatively early.
And as we saw with the way that the keys were laid out in the dungeon, it's not hookshot required by the logic. So that's why hookshot was able to be on cold stare at the bottom.
With Dark Shadow going into Swamp first, this might be the play that Asa needed to fully catch up.
Yeah, because after this, the only thing that Dark Shadows has in his favor is having already completed the 2 other pendant dungeons. If Asa thinks that Turtle Rock is not the play after this and decides to clear out those dungeons, that's where he might give Dark Shadows another opening.
Yeah, because Desert still opens up an item at Sahasra, and Asa doesn't know that, but he at least knows that Pedestal is not required. And at least doing it this way, Dark Shadows will get his silvers, so he won't have to worry about that.
It's been really interesting to see to watch so far because Dark Shadows making that really clutch play to fake powder and grab the cape, and then from there to the fire rod, really put him ahead early on. And Asa's kind of had to stick to a little bit more of the logic because he chose not to fake powder. And he's kind of been grinding his way back into this one. And now, as we see, he's got a bit of a lead, I might say, at this point.
I think you're right, and I think what really set it for him was the early catfish play to get his mirror. That could be the final, the final item that put him ahead early on.
Yeah, it was early, but it definitely kind of set him up to route things a certain way, and might have given him a bit of an edge later on. Alrighty, so Dark Shadow's now making the play that we wanted him to make first. He's going to head into Ice Palace. He is going to be able to clear this in its entirety and pick up the lamp and the hookshot.
It also looks like Az is making the same play that Dark Shadow did, and deciding to leave that vanilla big key location last.
If he doesn't go back for it, he's making a right call because we know that it's just a piece of heart back there. But that's a tough call to make when you are just 1 item away from go mode here.
Yeah, he's probably thinking that minute could be the key. Another thing to note is that since Asa has the lamp here, those dark rooms are going to be a little bit easier for him here.
That's true. Dark Shadows did lose a bit of time. Unfortunately, not getting the torch lit there quite as quickly as he would have liked, but should be able to make all 4 there. The benefit for Dark Shadows here is after getting through Ice Palace, getting the 2 last items, he'll head over to Swamp, and after that, his next play is like 99% got to be Turtle Rock, based on the amount of overworld and other locations that he has already cleared out.
Yeah, logically, that's got to be where he's thinking of going at that point.
Asa has just a couple more spots that he might want to check before making the Turtle Rock play, so that could work in Dark Shadow's favor. If Asa goes right for Turtle Rock, then he's going to be in pretty good shape.
It also depends, yeah, if he's gonna do the desert play after this. I think that's gonna set the seed most definitely.
So Asa's going to be heading into the Vitreous fight. He has silver arrows, whereas Dark Shadows did not. Still a pretty quick fight for both of our runners, but Asa's going to have the edge with the quick kill with the silvers.
But he did run out of arrows there, so he's gonna have to use the butter sword to swipe at him.
Wow.
Still, I think it's like 8 slashes with the butter sword and he's down easy.
All right, Asa, what are you going to do next? Okay, checkerboard. He hasn't seen this yet. We know it's the Quake Medallion.
He is doing desert.
So Dark Shadows tried to pull off a bomb jump there so that he could check what was in the big chest. But if he's going to go straight to the Cold Stare fight instead, which is going to work out for him.
Yeah, I believe the big chest just had a piece of heart in it, so it's lucky for him that he did fall on that bomb jump.
Yeah, chat is pointing out that Asa just went right into the back of Desert Palace here and is missing a very important item, the big key.
I believe he did get the big key. No, wait, no, big key is on the lamp. That's right. He needs to go in and get it. He's going to find out right now.
Ooh, opting to save and quit.
That worked out in his favor. He is making his way to Turtle Rock. That could have been a blessing in disguise.
All right, so this puts Asa in the lead at this point. Dark Shadows is going to have to go back into Swamp Palace and clear out the backside of that before heading up to Turtle Rock.
What a seed. Both these runners back and forth with plays all run long. Way to go.
So Asa enters Turtle Rock here. We are pretty certain that the ice rod is somewhere in here or in the Mimic Cave. I think between our two runners, we have seen every other location in the world at this point.
Yeah, I can't think of a spot that we haven't checked, so I really think logically it's in here. As we're getting into the chain chomp room, one of the worst rooms in the game because those chain chomps can do a lot of damage, even to someone with red mail. And we find our ether medallion in that chest. Well played by Asa in that room.
So for anyone just joining us, this has been a pretty exciting race to watch. Been a lot of back and forth between our two runners. Asa is known for putting in some pretty good times. He's been as low as about 120. Dark Shadows has been focusing a lot on the 2v2 tournament, which has been a lot of like kind of the goofier modes, entrance and Randomizer and all that kind of stuff. And so he's kind of just come back into standard. He did an excellent sequence break to fake powder to grab himself the fire rod, which gave him a little bit of an advantage early on. But however, Asa has kind of clawed back by following a logic and has put himself ahead at this point. Nice silver arrow there from Dark Shadows.
And we're about to see Dark Shadows make his way up to Turtle Rock. It's about, I would say, 5 minutes behind Asa, so.
Ooh, what's he doing? Oh, checking the big key, big chest.
Oh, that means he's triple dipped this dungeon.
All right, so just a piece of heart in the Mimic Cave. It is maybe an ice bridge, an ice rod on a laser bridge situation we're looking at here.
And not getting a key in there is gonna make him go to the laser bridge anyway, so this is gonna be close.
It's coming down to these last few chests here for Asa. If it's not here on the laser bridge, then we're not going to know what to think.
Oh, that's right. Dark Shadows did not do Fat Fairy, so he's going to be doing that first here. Nice heads-up play by Asa, getting a full magic refill and 2 hearts in that location over there.
Oh, of course, it's going to be the last chest.
The very last chest, of course. Well, at 1 hour and 47 minutes into a seed, we are officially in go mode.
Wow, that's pretty rough.
But with Butter Sword, you're gonna get a full refill here. Trinex should go down relatively fast and easy, and we'll make our way over to Ganon's Tower.
Just 3 slashes on each head there with that butter sword makes this fight pretty easy.
And down goes Trinex. Alright, as Asa leaves this dungeon, we like to play a game here on Speed Gaming here to try to guess where the big key location is in Ganon's Tower. You have 22 locations to guess. Put your numbers in chat and figure out where it is. Where do you like to think the big key chest is, Savo?
I'm going to go with chest 10. I'm going to go with number 10 today. What do you think, Azure?
I always like Bob chest, so logically if they do the standard, they believe it's chest 14.
Nice.
Oh, that's right. Dark Shadows wasn't able to check a hookshot cave neither, so this is going to set him back just a little bit longer as well. Well, Bob is officially dead with the key being on the lamp.
Wow, there we go. So that was chest number 4.
Whoever guessed 4 is the winner.
So the closest guess from a sub or a supporter was 5 from Frostoise. Congratulations, Frostoise.
Poor Dark Shadows following the logic with the shovel there, as now he's got to make his way back up to Turtle Rock. He didn't want to leave it by chance that it was not in the dungeon.
Yeah, thinking to maybe gamble big here at the end, might be behind, so go for something kind of unusual like that. Meanwhile, on Asa's side, doing an excellent job so far through the gauntlet, but he too probably is thinking he might be a bit behind, being kind of late to the party, grabbing. Oh, what was he missing?
It was the powder. The
Powder. Yes. Powder to cape to fire rod there. That whole bit of shenanigans.
Depending on how fast he finished this back end of the dungeon, he still might have a sub 2 hour in the seed.
Yeah, that's still on the table here, I'd say. Yeah, with the equipment that he's got and where he is already in the tower, I think we might be seeing like about a 158 at him.
Great Rizrobe's room in there. I still have not landed that move yet, so it's not as easy as a lot of these runners make it seem.
Yeah, you've got to be precise to get them all there. So Asa up into the final few rooms here. He's got everything he needs, so he is probably not going to open any of the chests leading up to Aga 2 here.
Nope, and heading right there just proves that he's not going to. I don't remember if he used his blue goo, but he did choose not to get the fairies out of those anti-fairies in that room to replenish his hearts. Even with red mail, Ganon can hit hard.
Yeah, and he's just sitting on 6 hearts there. I hope that he has something in storage there. He might have a blue goo or two still kind of kicking around.
As it gets to his Aga 2 fight.
Kind of an awkward first pattern there. This one looks a bit better. Gets a double there.
Nice pattern to finishing off. We are heading our way towards Ganon.
Alrighty, and at about 156, Asa enters the Ganon fight.
I think it was 156 on the dot. All right, just 6 slashes per stage. We are in stage 2 here, so quickly making work out of Ganon.
Wow, sneaking through those bats there, really nice.
He did have that blue potion, choosing to use it there so he can go into phase 3. Right after phase 3, when he gets shots with the silvers, it's going to be a quick fight for him. Ooh, just missing the torch glitch. So, but with silver hours in hand, it's not a big deal.
Just one more hit should do it.
There is Ganon is down. He was heading down trying to relight the torches, didn't realize he had the last hit in.
And with that, Asazas is done with an official SRTV time of 1:57:43. Get your GGs in chat for Asazas.
GG, what a race these runners had. And we'll see if we can get Asa in chat for an interview.
Just as Dark Shadows finds that awful ice rod there on the laser bridge. So Dark Shadows making quick work of Trinex as well here.
Chat asking if there was going to be another race after this. We do have a race over on A Link to the Past Randomizer 4 with Nidban and I Have No Name SDA at 8 p.m. tonight. So there will be another race shortly after this one finishes.
And as for pulling Asazas in for an interview, he'll be here in just a second. Oh, and I think that might be him. Asazas, GG's.
Way to go, Asa. GG. What a run.
Well, thank you. I honestly cannot believe I got away with that one.
Tell us what you're thinking about this seed.
Well, I mean, it was just about items in inconvenient spots, at least for me. Oops. A second. Yeah, and and I just felt like I kept avoiding the items towards the end, towards when I need to go, and then thus it turned into kind of a mess of a seed for me.
Yeah, it was pretty tough logic to kind of follow there. And I mean, you made the play into Ice Palace, finally finding that lamp, which would give you access up to Death Mountain. And that was kind of a key play for you because Dark Shadows put off the Ice Palace play for a little too long. But that was a really rough location for it, right? Hey, don't you think?
Yeah, sure, and the hook shot as well. Just,
Yeah, right.
just hanging in there. But probably his sequence broke up to Death Mountain. Like, I decided not to do that, but I don't know.
He also sequence broke by doing fake powder to get the cape, to get the fire rod early.
Oh yeah, and like I was thinking about that. I just like hesitated for a minute and just decided, well, nah, I'm just going to turn in the mushroom instead because I've had that forever. And it's probably got something.
Yeah, mushroom seems to have a bit more value in this version of logic, so not a bad thought to turn it in. Yeah, he by Dark Shadows pulling off that little fake powder there that did put him ahead for a while, but you kind of like you stuck to the logic and just through execution and kind of grinding it out, you managed to claw your way back and pull ahead.
Yeah, I'm kind of happy with how this turned out in terms of execution in general. Like, did you like how I like abandoned the purple chest? Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, besides that, I'm quite happy about execution, and I guess an area advantage would have been the mirror early. That was kind of a dumb play, but it paid off.
Yeah, that's right. You did pick that up a lot sooner than Dark Shadows, so that was definitely, yeah, Catfish. It's like such an out of the way location, but you went for it early and it did pay off. So yeah, not bad. Good thinking.
I mean, I don't think it was a good play statistically speaking, but I know I was feeling it.
Definitely. So I guess you are now 2-0. So what do you think? How have you been enjoying the tournament so far?
Well, so far it has been two kind of terrible seeds. Like the one, the first round was even worse than this one. So let's see if it, yeah, let's see if it gets a little bit more tame. But yeah, now I think I may shoot for the brackets. Let's see if I can do it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, 2-0 is a good start, and you know, you never know who your next opponent might be, but there's going to be definitely lots of tough ones down the road. But you're putting yourself in good shape, and I've seen that some of your times just on like SRL seeds that you've been running have been pretty low. So if things aren't too twisted and whatnot, you stand a pretty good chance of putting in some good times, I think.
Yeah, you definitely on pace here to maybe get far in this, especially with your low times. It's a good race for you.
Well, let's see. I hope I run into one of those seats during the Swiss stages.
Yeah.
Stop being like this.
Yeah, Par Dark Shadow, by the way, did full right side leading into Armo, so he's finally making his way to where the big key is.
So Asa, if you have somewhere to be and you want to take off, feel free. Or if you want to hang around and wait for Dark Shadows to finish, he's still kind of working his way through GT. You can also stick around with us. We'll kind of leave it up to you.
I think I'll hang out for a minute. He's about to finish anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I guess we'll just kind of start going back and focusing on what he is doing, and then we'll kind of have a chat to wrap up the seed at the end there.
Absolutely. He's about to make his way into the gauntlet area shortly here. Making quick way out of He also has the mirror shield, so he's able to just face those guys and take full blast in front.
Yeah, it makes it a little easier to deal with those mimics when you have the mirror shield. So I feel like Dark Shadow should still be holding on to a potion of some sort, hopefully some blue goo. We'll have to see, but I think he's got something in reserve there.
I believe so as well. I mean, he did use a blue potion early on. I forget where, but I think he has another one available.
So far, this gauntlet is looking pretty nice.
Yeah, that second room with all those Stalfos can be a real pain. Them just with RNG base could really screw with you a little bit.
Yeah, they don't make it easy because yeah, they wander and then they jump out of your way. It's probably like the most annoying room I find in the gauntlet is those Stalfos guys. So not quite able to get the one cycle on the Lammo, but taking care of it in two, no problem.
I'm sure he can, but we'll see if he could pull off the second Wiz Road room here, Strat. Almost got it, just got bodied by the spike in that room.
Gonna have to be careful if he's got something in reserve there. He might want to use a potion or something.
That's right, because he did not pick up powder, so he's not going to be able to use to get those anti-fairies in the next room. Ooh, only has a fairy.
Well, I guess that's not bad. Taking a death means he'll be okay. And his magic looks like it's in pretty good shape, so shouldn't have any trouble there with the Ganon fight.
It's just going to depend on how his Aga 2 rolls around.
I think for that last chest there, that is the vanilla big 20 there.
Is that what's in there? I always forget what was in that chest.
It has been a while since I've played the vanilla version of this game, but I believe that is what is in that chest normally.
Very anticlimactic for a game like this, for just 20 rubies.
Gets a nice double there.
And another double, just one more hit will get him onto Ganon.
All right, with a heart and a half, Dark Shadows heads into the Ganon fight. got the fairy in his pocket, so he will be able to take a death if that should happen.
All right, that should be 5. It should be one more here, then he's on to phase 3.
Okay, takes the hit from the fire bat, but he'll be all right.
And able to use those iframes to get that first hit off Ganon and not spawn the flames.
Very nice. Alright, just missing the torch glitch, but that is okay, as we saw with asazas. Not a big deal.
Oh no, taking the fall.
Yikes. That hurts. And thanks to Zyklon W there for the Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you for that.
Good heads up play for him to throw a bottle to get blue goo from the Fat Fairy. Very nice, and that should come in handy. It should be plenty of safeties now to get this fight over with.
All right, Shadows, bring it home here. Yes, Ganon, it is like deja vu all over again. We were just here like 30 seconds ago.
Not even worrying about his slicing count, just giving it to Ganon right now. It always seems that if you fall to Ganon the second time, he's always trolly. He's onto you, doesn't want to be hit.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Phase 4 again.
Perfect glitch there. And officially down.
Alrighty, so DarkShadows59 finishes up with a unofficial SRTV time of 2:14:43. Put your GGs in the chat. So we'll see if we can get him in here to wrap this one up.
Chad is saying they want to see his collection rate, and I'm kind of curious myself to see how many spots he went to.
And we are joined by DarkShadows59. GGs, my man.
GG, Dark Shadows. Well done.
I guess it's not a bad time for all dungeon seed.
Give us a couple of opening thoughts on that one. What did you think?
I think I trolled myself harder than any seed ever could.
Yeah, you pulled off an excellent sequence break by fake powdering there. How did that kind of change what you did after that?
Well, from there, that was immediately just go finish Skull Woods. I was trying to figure out where the sequence break was though, because then the sequence broken cape led to a fire rod, which led to a flute. So it's like they expect me to get Lamp somewhere. I have no clue where.
So Lamp was in Ice Palace, which
I
then,
did get that.
yeah, which would lead you up to the mountain to get the powder to put everything back in logic.
Yeah, so
Powder,
I guess it, all by it being in such an odd location, you were probably trying to work your way backwards, trying to figure out like where it could possibly be. So I imagine that kind of played on your mind a little bit.
Yeah, and then when I got down to just Ice Palace, Swamp Palace, and Turtle Rock left, and I still was missing the Ice Rod and the Hook Shot, I literally cleared and checked every single location in the game except for what I skipped in Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, really, it's going to be a high collection rate when we see it here.
Yeah. Am I good to fast forward this? That way we can see the collection rate?
Yeah, I think we can do that. Go for it.
absolutely. And I think the trolley item was definitely vanilla flippers that would set that item chain in motion. So until you found flippers on Zora is really where everything opened up.
Yeah, and I put off going to Zora just until I got the money for it, and that's just one of those seeds where Houlihan would have actually done something. Possibly.
Yeah, because the opening part of the seed was definitely a little bit stingy. There wasn't a lot of cash to go around. It wasn't until you guys started diving into some Dark World locations that you finally got enough cash to make the Zora play worthwhile.
Hey, how about that early stun prize, though?
Oh, yeah, that was nice, huh?
It's like, have weapon, I have red boomerang, let's check the stun prize. 8 bombs. I'm set for a while.
Definitely very excited. And early Dark World access. I think you had Dark World access at 13 minutes into the seed, which is very nice to see. And one of the things I always like is that when you have early Dark World access, it opens up the entire end to not see convergence. And for the most of this time, you guys were in separate locations anywhere, hardly ever converging in the same location.
Oh, I see the collection right here. Yeah, when y'all see this is going to be kind of dumb.
We're all waiting with bated breath at the moment here.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of the highest of the tournament right now.
Oh, 191?
Wow, that is
Oh, God.
crazy.
As I said, I think I put on a click on how to throw a race, because if I didn't touch Desert, if I didn't touch Tower of Hera, if I didn't... When I went up onto Death Mountain going to Turtle Rock, I was just thinking, why hasn't Asazas finished yet? Why hasn't he finished yet? So I figure, okay, maybe he didn't get the book. That's why I checked Ether first. Wasn't there. So I'm like, okay. Check Hookshot Cave. Oh, there's a shovel. He might have went straight through Turtle Rock, not checked the shovel, and be blocked. So I went and checked the shovel. It was a dud.
Yeah, we could kind of see that with your plays kind of in a late game because Asa's pretty good at putting in some good times sometimes. So you think if he hasn't finished yet, like what could possibly be going on in this seed? So we could see that you were making moves like that towards the end, and we're like, yeah, we make this makes sense. You know, I mean, you start to gamble because you think you're playing the meta game kind of.
Yeah, if I didn't go through the pendant dungeons, and if I had not gambled so much, I think I could have done a whole lot better.
You were you were ahead for a good chunk of the early part of the game. The sequence break put you ahead and had you clearing things out a lot quicker. But yeah, it just the back half when you started to check out kind of those one-off weird locations or full clear one of those pendant dungeons. Those things kind of hurt you, I guess, in the end.
You did give chat the blind pedestal pool, which was definitely something they like to see, and it's always fun when it's blind. Great time for that.
Hey, at the time, Hookshot and Ice Rod were still on the ped possibilities.
Yeah, absolutely. Any final things you guys like to say about this seed or the tournament in general?
Don't play yourself out of a win. Don't play yourself out of a good run.
Well, we all like these wild rides, don't we? Because I was up to pretty much the same thing.
Alrighty, well, it's we probably got something coming on this channel up at the top of the hour, so we might have to vacate. So just wanted to thank both of you runners for doing an excellent job through kind of a tough seed. So if you're not following these guys already, then please give them a follow. They would really appreciate it. I want to thank our tracker, Melee Wizard, for doing an excellent job behind the scenes for us, keeping everything in line. I've had a great time co-commentating with Azure here, and I'm going to just sign off by saying thank you so much, and I'll leave the last word with Azure.
Yes, I had an amazing time commenting with you, Sabotender, as well. If you guys like, make sure you give Sabotender a follow. He's going to be doing a race shortly. And if you like what you're seeing, please follow Speed Gaming. There's 1 through 6. We have a link to the past randomizers 1 through 4. And if you'd like to continue, there is going to be another race at the top of the hour, 8 p.m. at a link to the pace ALTTP Randomizer 4 between Nidban and I Have No Name SDA. So if you like what you're seeing, please continue there. Thank you for watching us. It's been a great seed, both Dark Shadows and Asazas. Amazing run, fun to watch, and thank you for entertaining us for the last 2 hours.
Yeah, thank you for making this.
And with that being said, thanks for watching, guys, and have a good day.